Hi, my name is Stella Drozdowitz. I'm presenting for Group 14. We're talking about fashion, sustainability, and clothing. So first we wanted to talk about who our customer market is and a little bit more about our how might we statement. Our how might we statement focused on how might we make sustainable, affordable, and cute clothing more accessible to college students. Our customer range is students 18 to 24, specifically at the University of Michigan, who take interest in fashion and sustainability. Our customers, or at least from our perspective, what we assumed, what we were hypothesizing, that our customers want to buy cute clothes that don't hurt the planet or their bank accounts, and they don't want their unused clothes or their specialty clothes sitting in their closets for ages. They want options that are within a short distance of campus. This is something we talked about a lot in class of how location can impact ability to buy. So we went into a few different surveys to try and test different areas of the market to see if we could further identify what we wanted our project to be. So first we did a little bit of a survey about what our customer prioritizes. So sustainability in clothing was the least prioritized. However, we took that with a grain of salt and we used further research to show that we still think this is important to our customers. 84%, their most prioritized quality of their clothing was how trendy or cool it was to them. The second was 72% agreeing this was picking cheap clothing, and the third, 28%, prioritized sustainable clothing. Next, we wanted to talk a little bit more and identify more of the shopping habits of our consumers. 50% of our consumer base spends around $50 a month on clothing. 28% only spent less than $25. I know personally I'm in this demographic and I probably spend at least $50 on clothing a month. And looking into approximately how much money do people spend on clothing, footwear, accessories over the course of a semester, 60% said they spend at least $100 a semester, which is a significant portion, and a lot of this goes to specialty events, at least in the customer research we've further done, where this weekend I want to go to the Zach Bryan concert. Well, I want a dress and I want cowboy boots. Well, how often am I really wearing like a fancy dress and cowboy boots? Not super often. If I had a way to give it to other people, I could make some of my money back. Then we wanted to talk a little bit more about circling back to sustainability as a purchasing driver. We realized through this data that only 66% of customers said that they would pay more at all for sustainable clothing, and at that they only said they would pay about $0 to $5 more, which isn't a great amount of people. That's why we realized we needed to make our option cost effective. So our value proposition is we want to create an on-campus clothing swap program that is environmentally conscious, budget conscious, and is easy access for students to give them options for secondhand clothing that fit their goals. This will allow customers to find on-trend clothing by sustainable means and at reasonable prices. A few of the benefits are less fast fashion being purchased, less financial troubles for college students, clothing being reworn instead of put into landfills, and the promotion of sustainable practices on college campuses. We feel that this adequately addresses the gains that we see our consumer facing, the pains that we see our consumer facing, which is cute, sustainable clothing is very expensive, but also there's the shame of buying cheap stuff that rots in landfills, while introducing some gains, which is you could have more clothes for fun that still fit your goals. A little bit about the competition and our differentiation. So our main competition is other secondhand stores that are specifically marketed for younger people, like Depop, Poshmark, or Plato's Closet. And we plan to differentiate ourselves from other secondhand and resale stores by promoting easily accessible options. We want to differentiate ourselves from fast fashion sellers by appealing to a more environmentally conscious student. And we want to differentiate ourselves by turning clothing swaps into curated social events that make shopping sustainable and increasing an item lifetime a community option. Thank you.